All right, shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom. I'm gonna start by giving infinite honors and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Harachakwadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and are worthy of the double honors. Peace and blessings to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last sects of time. I want to get into this topic regarding the hell doctrine. All right, what is hell? It's not what you think. All right, because the average person on the planet Earth, they believe hell to be an underground, fiery realm where your soul and body just burn forever, continually, man, as a punishment from the Most High. All right, but it's not that. And Lord willing, in this video, we're going to prove that. All right, so first and foremost, I just want to get this definition of purgatory. All right. All right, it says purgatory in Roman Catholic doctrine, first and foremost, a place or state of suffering inhabited by the souls of sinners who are expiating their sins before going to heaven. All right, and this is not biblical. All right, it's a Roman Catholic doctrine. First and foremost, it even tells you this, man. All right, in Roman Catholic doctrine. All right, this is not of the Bible and it's not biblical. Okay, so I just want to go and pull this video. All right. And it's entitled churchandstate.org UK. Retired priest. Hell was invented by the church to control people with fear. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. It says, hell was invented by the church to control people with fear. All right, now we're going to get into this video. All right. And this retired priest is going to debunk this hell doctrine, man. All right, but we're going to go into the scriptures, all right, and prove that hell is not biblical, man. Okay, the theory of a fiery underground realm where you burn forever. All right, it's not biblical. It's Greek mythology. All right, and it's a dogma that must be torn down. All right, so this video is of an interview retired Episcopal Bishop John Shelby Spong did with Keith Morrison of Dateline NBC back in August of 2006. Right, man, almost a decade ago. All right, so this has been around, and the Roman Catholic Church knows that this was a doctrine that was put out to put the people in fear and control them, man. All right, so let's get into it. Hopefully it plays. Let's pause it real quick and let's see if it's playing. I just want to check my YouTube real quick. Let's pause it real quick. All right, I don't think it's playing. Let's see. All right, so he's basically explaining, all right, what's going on here. Now we're gonna read the transcript of it. All right, so let's read it. This is the ex-retired priest, and this is Morrison, the interviewer. It says, Spong, I don't think hell exists. I happen to believe in life after death, but I don't think it's got a thing to do with reward and punishment. Religion is always in the control business, and that's something people don't really understand. It's in a guilt-producing control business, and that's right. He was right, man. This guy was right. All right, it says, and if you have heaven as a place where you are rewarded for your goodness, and hell is a place when you're punished for your evil, then you sort of have control of the population. All right, and that's what he says in this video. You guys can check it out. All right, if you want to hear the actual volume on it, you can just go to this link right here at the top. But it says, and hell is a place where you're punished for evil, then you sort of have control of the population. And this was used by the Roman Catholic Church, man. All right, that's why the scriptures calls Roman Catholic Church that false prophet, man. All right, because they prophesy lies, man. Okay, It says, and so they create this fiery place, which has quite literally scared the hell out of a lot of people through Christian history. And it's part of a controlled tactic. So you can't make this up, man. The hell doctrine is part of a controlled tactic used by the elites, the global elites, through the Roman Catholic Church, man. All right, to have you jakes in fear and in subjection so that you'll pay more money to them, pay more tithes, all right, submit to them and be in order, and ultimately they can have global and world domination, man, population control. So Morrison responds, he says, but wait a minute, you're saying that hell, the idea of a place under the earth or somewhere you're tormented for an eternity, is actually an invention of the church? Spawn, I think the church fired its furnaces hotter than anybody else. But I think there's a sense in most religious life of reward and punishment in some form. The church doesn't like for people to grow up. Here we go. It says the church doesn't like for people to grow up because you can't control grown-ups. Meaning the church doesn't like for people to become enlightened, all right, and realize that what? This hell doctrine is a dogma, man. All right, throughout the planet Earth, man. Okay? It says that's why we talk about being born again. When you're born again, you're still a child. People don't need to be born again. They need to grow up. They need to accept their responsibility for themselves in the world. And that's what this truth, all right, the spirit of power Yahweh Shem Yahushua requires you to do. It requires you to accept responsibility for your sins, accept responsibility, and hold yourself accountable for the things that you've done, man. All right. And therefore leading you to call upon Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. Okay. So it says, Morrison, this is back at the interview. It says, what do you make of the theology, which is pretty quite prominent these days in America, which is there's one guaranteed way not to go to hell, and that is to accept Jesus as your personal savior? And this guy's, he says, yeah, I grew up in that tradition. Every church I know claims that we are the true church and that they have some ultimate authority. We have the infallible Pope. We have the Bible, the idea that the truth of the Most High can be bound in any human system, by any human creed, by any book. Okay, it says, I mean, God is not a Christian. God is not a Jew or a Muslim or Hindu or Buddhist. All of these are human systems. And that's some truth about that, man, because he says God's not a Christian, because ultimately Christianity is not in the Bible, man. All right. In order to be a so-called Christian, Christian means a follower of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. And in order to be a follower of Yahweh Shai, you have to be an Israelite, man. All right. So let's get into some of these scriptures, and Lord willing to be edifying. Okay. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, and I'll start at 20. And it says, all go unto one place. All are of the dust, and all turn to dust again. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast goeth downward to the earth? That's right. So when your body perishes, man, your body decomposes and goes back to the earth, man, to the dust, it returns. And your spirit, all right, which is pure energy, pure fire, it goes up to the Most High, who owns your spirit, man, who controls your spirit, the creator of all spirits, man. All right, I just want to get real quick that definition to decompose. It says decompose with reference to a dead body or other organic matter to make or become rotten, decay or cause to decay. With reference to a chemical compound, break down or cause to break down in component elements or simpler constituents. That's right, man. That's what your body does. Because this body it's material, man. It's just a vehicle that holds your spirit for this lifetime, and you come back on the earth, all right, and play out your judgment, man. Okay, on the planet Earth, like it tells you in the book of Hebrews. All right, we're going to get into some more precepts. All right, let's get 2 Corinthians 5 and 10. All right, it says, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, that everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he hath done, whether it be good or bad. You see? So there's no place, all right, under the ground, a fiery realm, all right, according to Dante's Inferno, where you burn forever, man. All right, there's no purgatory, man. Okay, that's a dogma on the planet Earth. All right, and we're gonna, Lord willing, we edify on that, man. So it says 2 Corinthians 5:10, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. So when you die, all right, on the earth, your soul goes back up, your spirit goes back up to the Most High who created you, and you appear before the judgment seat, and ultimately you come into realization of the truth, all right, and you get your judgment, man. All right, let me get it real quick. Hebrews, get it real quick. It'd be 9:27. Right. This is Hebrews 9:27. It says, and as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this the judgment. That's right, man. So your flesh dies. Okay, then after that, your spirit goes back up to the Most High for that judgment. All right. And then you're put back on the planet Earth after a period of time. All right. Because under the sun is that place of judgment, man. It says, verse 28, so Yahweh Shai Mashiach was once offered to bear the sins of many, and unto them that look for him shall he appear the second time without sin unto salvation. That's right. Let me get it real quick. Get it in the book of Ecclesiastes 3:16. It's Ecclesiastes 3:16. All right, and we went into this earlier about, all right, you all go to one place, all of the dust, and all return to the dust. All right, Ecclesiastes 3:16. And moreover, I saw under the sun. Now, what's under the sun, man? The earth. It says, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. That's right, man. And under the sun is the place of judgment, which is the earth, man. That's where we come for our sentence from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, man. All right. That's why you hear the men of the Lord, we say we repent for the sins, not only in this life, but our past life, man. Okay. So let's get into some more scriptures. All right. Let's go to the book of Amos 9, verse 2. Okay, this is Amos 9:2. It says, though they dig into hell, thence shall mine hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. That's right, man. So this isn't dealing, this is talking about the elites, but this isn't dealing with the elites digging down, all right, the fiery depths of hell, so-called fiery depths of hell. Is going into the elites, all right, having underground bunkers, man. All right, because they have the control right now, all right, and the power to go down and put underground bunkers in the ground, man, to try to escape their judgment. Okay. Now let's get that word hell. All right, because it's not a, like we said earlier, all right, it's not a fiery realm where your soul burns under the earth. Okay. Sheol, it says Sheol, underground world, Salakia, underworld, Sheol, underworld, grave, hell, pit. Right. And that's simply what it is, man. All right. Underworld, grave, pit. All right. Under the ground, not a fiery realm where your soul burns under the earth. It says the underworld. Okay. And we're going to prove that. Okay. Because ultimately, the Amos 9:2, I read it again. Okay. Let's go back. It's Amos 9:2. Though they dig into hell, thence shall mine hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. That's right. So this was a parable for the future of the destruction of the wicked, not a fiery pit in the middle of the earth, man. All right, now let's go get this other definition of hell. This is Luke 12:5. It says, But I will forewarn you whom ye shall fear. Fear him which after he had killed hath power to cast into hell. Yea, I say unto you, fear him. Now let's get this word hell here. She was going to go into Gehenna. Let's see. You go. Let's see. Right. It says, let me go back and click me out. All right. It says Gehenna. All right. It says hell. It says hell is the place of the future punishment called Gehenna or Gehenna of fire. This was originally the valley of Hinnom, south of Jerusalem, where the filth and dead animals of the city were cast out and burned, a fit symbol of the wicked and their future destruction. That's right, man. So ultimately, like you got these guys, all right, from IUIC, all right, he improperly broke down and said that the lake of fire is talking about hell, man. That's talking about the nuclear missiles turning this place into a pit of fire, man. All right, in this third world war. So let's read Gehenna again. All right, I'm gonna sound it out. Excuse the noise in the background, Salaki Akim. All right. So let's read it again. It says, hell is the place of the future punishment called Gehenna, or Gehenna of fire. This was originally the valley of Hinnom, south of Jerusalem, where the filth and dead animals of the city were cast out and burned, a fit symbol of the wicked and their future destruction. All right. So basically, where trash was burned, man. All right. So this is there's and even so, there's different variations of the word hell. Hell could be played out on earth, or be used as a simple definition, as we brought out, for under the ground or the grave, man. Let's get another one real quick. This is 1 Samuel 2 and 6. The Lord killeth and maketh alive. Let me zoom in a little bit. 1 Samuel 2 and 6, it says, the Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bring it down to the grave and bring it up. One more time, it says, the Lord killeth and maketh alive, right? Because Yahweh Shem Shai, he controls your soul, man. He controls where you go, all right, and how you're treated on this earth, man. Okay, so this earth is the real hell, man. Are not we subject to fines and payments? Are not we persecuted in the streets? All right, so-called black on black crime. All right, you got police brutality against the nation of Israel. That's hell, man. That's true hell, man. Okay, hell is a it's slavery, man. All right, it's a condition. Okay, we're gonna prove that. All right, now let's keep going. Okay, let's keep going. We're gonna prove that hell is a condition. Let's see. Now let's see real quick before we get that. Let's see if we can get a picture of Gehenna. Here you go, the Valley of Hinnom. This is that definition for the word of hell, man. Gehenna. You see? The Valley of Hinnom, where filth and waste and trash will burn, man. All right, as we read. Okay. Okay. So let's go back and let's prove, all right, that hell is a condition. Okay. The book of Isaiah, chapter 14. I'm going to start at 9. It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. That's right, man. Hell from beneath basically meaning that Esau is being taken out of power and being brought low, man. All right. His system is being brought low to the grave, or decomposing, like we read, right? His system is decomposing. America is decomposing, man. All right. Esau, Edom, and his structure, his image, all right, which is the system, it's rotting, man. All right. So it says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee. The dead here is talking about the heathen nations. All right, it says, even all the chief ones of the earth, it had raised up from their thrones, Salakia, all the kings of the nations. Verse 10, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Right? Because Edom is being brought low, man. He's being weakened. All right. He exalts himself as what? The most powerful nation on the planet Earth. All right. The most treacherous ruler on the planet Earth. All right. But he's being brought low, man. Through what? The words of Yahweh Shemi Awashai, the prophets on the highways and byways, and these prophecies, man. All right. It says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Because hell is a condition, man. All right. It's a low place. All right. Isaiah 14:11, it says, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. That's right, man. It says, thou art fallen. There you go. Thou art fallen from heaven, O Lucifer. And that's likened unto Esau Edom, man, because Lucifer goes into being a light bearer. And Esau Edom, he's a light bearer on the left-hand side, man. Okay. So it says, thou art fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weakest the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, verse 13, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. Going into the Israelites, man. All right. And he even exalts his throne above us, even to this day, man, right now. All right. With his policies. All right. His democracy, his Babylonian wine, man. And through slavery, man, he exalts himself above us, man. Okay. But as is written, you have been given the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven, man. So you haven't even tapped into what the Most High has in the heavens, man. All right. Which is the third dimension, okay, or the second heaven. But it says, verse 13, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. That's right, this northern hemisphere here in America. It says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Verse 15, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. You see, to that low place, because Esau Edom, he's going into slavery, man. All right, this is not talking about a fiery realm where you ultimately your soul is burned forever, man. All right, or you have different levels of it according to Dante's Inferno, man. Let's get this real quick. I just typed in Dante's Inferno. I won't get all the way into you. Joachim can go into it. All right, just look it up, man. It's nothing but Greek mythology, man, as well as the theory of Hades, man. All right, that's Greek mythology. It says, how accurate is Dante's Inferno? It says, it was wholly inaccurate. Oh, Salaki, well, I could read this one too. It says, it was wholly inaccurate and terribly anachronistic, of course, but it has some foundations in Dante's work. Dante was interested in exploring the universal truths as he understood them, but the vehicle he chose to do so is extremely specific. Hey, and salvation isn't universal, man. All right, salvation is only for the elect. Okay, just to put that in there. All right. Let's get this one. It says, what was the original purpose of hell in Dante's Inferno? It says, Dante imagined hell like an inverted cone with its circles gradually becoming smaller nearer to the earth's core. Each circle was dedicated to a sin and the sin's related punishment. So let's point it out that he imagined this. All right. He imagined this. Okay. Scriptures tell you the imaginations are wicked, roughly paraphrasing, man. All right. The heart is desperately wicked. Who can know it? All right. So this guy's heart was wicked, man, imagining these things which were false, man. This dogma was pushed out on the planet Earth, like we got into in this retired priest in his account, man. Okay. So let's go back to Isaiah 14. And it says, Isaiah 14:16, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the kingdoms, that made the earth to tremble and did shake kingdoms? And that's because you're going to be brought to that low place. You're going to be brought down the hill. Like the Israelites, we're in hell right now, man. All right. There's a saying that goes, what? This is a white man's heaven and a black man's hell. That's right, man. All right, because these so-called Edomites, they're in rulership, they're in their heaven, they're in their top spot. And the Israelites, we're in hell, man. We're in slavery right now. We're in a low place. All right, so let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 14, and let's read down. The book of Sirach, chapter 14. Let me get it. So it's better to see. In verse 18, it says, as of the green leaves on a thick tree, some fall and some grow. So is the generation of flesh and blood. One cometh to an end and another is born. You see? One coming to an end, because when you die, you go back up to the spirit world. Your spirit goes to the spirit world, man. All right? So you have people continuously, it's like a revolving door, man. All right? People continuously being brought to the grave, the spirit going up, and you have spirits coming down, all right, inhabiting bodies, and babies being born, man, to play out their judgment on the planet Earth. It says, verse 19, every work rotted and consumeth away, and the worker thereof shall go withal. That's right, man. The worker thereof, meaning what? The people. All right, their bodies are gonna rot and consume away. I believe the Lord, even just to prove that whole point I made about the revolving door, the Lord likens his judgment. I think it's Sirach the fifth. I mean, second is the fifth chapter. Let's see. Okay, I'm getting close. Get it real quick. Leave us in this chapter. Let me see. Yeah, it's in this chapter. All right, this is the book of Sirach. Yeah. Here we go. The book of Sirach, chapter 5, verse 42. It says, and he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring. And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring. You see? Because the spirit world is a revolving door, man. You have people going up to the spirit world, people coming back down into bodies to being judged. All right. You have what? See how many people on the planet Earth right now. $7.88 billion, and this was in 2021. All right, so you have souls going up and souls coming back down. It's like a revolving door. That's what it's going to say here. Second Edges 5:42, and he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring, like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first. So the Lord likened his judgment onto a ring, man. All right, what does a ring do? It circles. And what do they say? Hey, you can't make this up, man. All right. Circle of life. They even said this in the Lion King, man. It's the circle of life. You see? There you go. Circle of life, man. And this is creatures, but we get the point, man. That's the circle of life, right? Let's see if they got any info. It says what is the meaning of behind the circle of life? It says we are all connected. Circle of life as a philosophical concept means that we start at the end and end in the beginning. You see, our lives from beginning. What's like it? Took it away. Just getting used to this Zoom on a Mac, Akim. Right? It says our lives from beginning to end resemble a circle. Right? It says our lives from beginning to end resemble a complete full circle. No matter how big or small a circle is, it ends in the exact same way for everyone. That's right, man. There's new thing under the sun, man. Okay. So these souls, these spirits that have come back and inhabit bodies, all right, were already of old time, man. Okay. So let's get another one just going into the hell of being a condition, man. Right? If it's in Psalms, let's see. 16. This is Psalm 16:9. It says, therefore my heart is glad and my glory rejoiceth. My flesh also shall rest in hope. For thou wilt not leave my soul in hell, neither will thou suffer thine holy one to see corruption. So the Lord is not going to leave our soul in this low place, man. We're ultimately going to be raised up in these latter days. The elect is going to be delivered, and we're going to be restored back to the true order of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. So hell is a condition played out on the planet Earth. All right. Brought this out earlier. See if we can see. I got another one. Right. This is Isaiah 57:1. It says, the righteous perish and no man layeth it to his heart. And merciful men are taken away, none considering that the righteous is taken away from the evil to come. That's right, man. You go up to the spirit world and you're taken away from evils, man. We're going to bring that out in Job. All right. When you up in the spirit world, you're away from these evils, man, that are on the planet Earth, man, because this place is wicked, man. It is hell. All right. Verse 2, it says, he shall enter into peace, and peace means rest. So when your body, all right, goes down to the grave, okay, or to the dust, your spirit enters into that peace, into that rest. All right. It says they shall rest in their beds, each one walking in his uprightness. That's right, man. Each one walking in his uprightness. Now let's get this account, all right, with Samuel and Saul, man. All right, but Saul was, all right, he had made a decree to where he suffered not a wish to live, all witches should be put to death. And then he went back on that own decree, man. All right, and started dealing with a witch and consulting her for advice. All right, so he sought her for advice about Samuel in the spiritual realm, and Samuel actually came back, all right, and he was pissed off, man. So let's read this. 1 Samuel 28:11. It says, then said the woman, whom shall I bring up unto thee? Speaking to Saul. And he said, bring me up Samuel, because Samuel was in the spirit world, man. All right. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice, right? Because this was actually Samuel, man. This wasn't all right, a spirit she was speaking to. It was Samuel. It says, and the woman spake to Saul, saying, why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. And the king said unto her, be not afraid, for what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. That's right, man. So that's what she saw, man, when Saul ultimately commanded her to bring up Samuel, man. Okay, from the spiritual world. Okay. So it says, and there's even videos online that you could look at where you'll see actual people going up to the spirit world, and their spirit that purified that energy, all right, it's ascending up, man. All right. It's going back up to the Father, man. Okay. You can just type that in on YouTube. Okay, it says, and the king said unto her, be not afraid, what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw powers ascending out of the earth. And he said unto her, what form is he of? And she said, an old man cometh up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel, right? So he came as a man, it says, and he stooped with his face to the ground and bowed himself. And watch what Samuel's going to say to him, man. It says, and Samuel said to Saul, why hast thou disquieted me? Right? Why have you bothered me, man? I'm resting up here. All right? Because when you enter up into the spirit world, it's peace, man. It's peace up there. All right? It's no confusion. It's no disorder. All right? That happens here on the earth, man. It's nothing but confusion here in America. All right? In the spirit world, it's complete order. It says, and Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and the Most High is departed from me. Because Saul was going out of his wits, man. All right, and you can clearly see here, man. The scriptures tell you don't deal with any witches or prognosticators or anything like that, man. So he was going off, man. All right, he was out of his mind. It says, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and the Most High is departed from me, and answered me no more, neither by prophets nor by dreams. Therefore I have called thee, that thou mayest make known unto me what shall I do. So he was asking Samuel from the spiritual world, because the Most High wasn't dealing with Saul, man. All right, he had took that spirit away from Saul. So he was asking Samuel in the spiritual world for advice, man. And Samuel is gonna get on him, man. It says, therefore I have called thee, and thou makest mayest make known unto me what I shall do. Then said Samuel, wherefore then dost thou ask of me, seeing the Lord is departed from thee and is become thine enemy? Like, why you why are you calling upon me? I'm in the spiritual world of the Lord. If the Lord can't help you, then how can I? All right, verse 17. And the Lord had done to him as he spake by me, for the Lord had rent the kingdom out of thine hand and given it to thy neighbor, even to David. That's right. Because thou obeyest not the voice of the Lord, nor executed his fierce wrath upon Amalek, therefore had the Lord done this thing unto thee. Right? Because Saul went against the Lord, all right, and didn't destroy those Amalekites, man. All right. So the Most High took the spirit away from him, man. And he was just going off, and this is just another example. Verse 19, it says, moreover, the Lord will also deliver Israel with thee into the hands of the Philistines, and tomorrow shall thou and thy sons be with me. And this was Samuel talking to Saul. He said, thou and thy sons shall be with me, meaning what? They're going to be up in the spiritual world, man. All right, they're going to be in the spirit world. Okay, it says the Lord also should deliver the host of Israel into the hands of the Philistines. That's right. So, and that did happen, man, ultimately. All right. So let's go back. All right. And let's just show that the spiritual world, okay, is peace, man. Spoken of in the book of Job. This is Job chapter 3. Start at 17. It says there speaking of the spiritual world, it says, there the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. There the prisoners rest together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor. And the prisoners rest together because the wicked and the righteous, they all go to one place, man. All right, which is the spirit world. All right, your body decays. Okay, and it's as simple as that, man. Okay. And they got movies out here like Drag Me Down to Hell. All right, I saw that movie years ago, man. All right, before I was in the truth. And it was just, even then I didn't believe it because it was all a depiction, man. It was all centered around Greek mythology. Okay. So it says, there the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. There the prisoners rest together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor. Why? Because they're at peace. Here in America, in hell, all right, we hear the voice of the oppressor, man. All right, because we're not at peace. All right. It says, there the prisoners rest together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor. The small and the great are there, and the servant is free from his master. You see, the small and the great are there. All right. Where? In the spiritual world, man. And the servant is free from his master. We're not free from our master on this side because we're still being ruled over by the oppressor, man. All right. Thus rendering this place under the sun and earth. This is hell, man. You got Israelites calling upon the name of the Lord. All right. Asking the Lord to save us from our oppressors, man. Okay. I think it's in Jonah 2. This is Jonah 2:1, just going into that hell being a condition. It says, then Jonah prayed unto the Lord Yahweh, his power out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice. Because Jonah, all right, he was trying to turn away from what the Lord had commanded him to do, man. And so he was swallowed by this fish, this giant fish. All right, and he likened that condition that he was in onto hell, man, being that low place, man, where he was. Verse 2 again, it said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I, and thou heardest my voice. That's right. And out of the belly of hell, here in America, across the four corners, wherever the elect may be scattered, all right, we cry unto the Lord, all right, and he hears our voice, man. All right, so what is hell? Okay, Lord willing, this message was edifying. I'm going to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Haloyim Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem HaRachakwadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well and are worthy of their double honors. Peace and blessings to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last 6 of time. Kwame Yashala, Shabbat Shalom.